What's going on? This is Brandon, and I am a landlord. Yes, I am a landlord. I have a lot of rental properties, and I manage them myself along with my wife and other team members. So I want to be a good landlord. Why is that? Because a good landlord makes money. A good landlord retains tenants longer. A tenant who likes where they live and likes their landlord is going to stay way longer, meaning less turnover, less hassle, more money in my pocket. And so I want to be a great landlord. Well, how do you do that? Well, I'm going to go through 7 different strategies today for becoming a great landlord. And hey, if you like this video, make sure you click that thumbs up button below the video to let the internet world know there's value here. All right, with that, let's get to it. The 7 steps for becoming a great landlord. Number 1. Be organized. In other words, treat your business like a business. See, a lot of people, myself included, get into landlording and then treat it like some pastime or quick hobby. It's not that big of a deal. It's only one tenant. It's only one thing. At the beginning, that's what people do, but I would encourage you to treat it like a business from day one. What does that mean? Be organized. Keep your paperwork in folders. Get a file cabinet. Maybe get a phone number, even if it's a free Google Voice number. Keep organized. Pretend you have a business of 1,000 units. How would you organize that at the beginning? And then you'll grow into a more organized business. The more organized you are, the more happy everybody is, the more streamlined your business runs. You're not getting 3 a.m. phone calls from, tenants that are angry at you for some broken thing. Because you're organized, your entire operation runs better. Number 2, understand your local laws. Look, every single state is different in regards to the laws governing landlord and tenant. But also, cities have their own laws as well. So you need to be aware of what your local laws are, which means you're gonna have to do some reading. I lived in Washington State for the longest time, and so of course I read the Washington State Landlord Tenant Act. And we read it every year to make sure there's no changes. Then I moved to Hawaii, and guess what? I read the laws for Hawaii rentals, because these are things that impact my business. A quick way to land yourself in jail is to violate some tenant housing act issues. So don't do it. Number 3, be firm but fair. Look, I am a nice guy. On the disc profile, if you've ever done one of those, I'm a high I. I like to be liked. I want people to like me. So when a tenant asks me a question like, hey, can I have a dog? It's a cute little dog. And I'm like, I want to say, yeah, go ahead, have the dog. Now, in some of my units, I do allow pets and other ones I don't. But my response is always to want to be liked and to be a nice guy. But what we've discovered is that when you're just take whatever you want. You're kind of like a parent who just gives their kid, yeah, whatever you want. You want candy? Sure. You want to watch YouTube 9 hours a day? Go ahead. How do you feel about those parents? Not real great, right? But the tenants are the same way. If you just let them do whatever they want, it actually is worse for them. So as a landlord, I've discovered that you need to become firm but fair. It means don't treat your tenants differently. Be fair, treat them all the same, treat them with respect, but you need to be firm. If you said the rent was due on the 1st, make the rent due on the 1st. If they pay on the 2nd, we charge a late fee. I know that's not a very nice thing to want to do, but if you let them go without paying a late fee, oftentimes then they'll pay late next time or the time after. This is not a probably, this is almost always how it works. Ask any landlord who hates their life and has trouble getting rent from their tenant. It's almost always because they weren't firm with their tenant. I'm not saying being mean to them. I'm not saying you need to be a nasty landlord. You need to be firm but fair. Number 4, do what you say you're gonna do. So many landlords out there say they're gonna fix the leak, or they're gonna improve the property, they're gonna paint something or do whatever. They're gonna show up at this time, and they just don't do what they say they're gonna do. So not only does that make your tenant frustrated, but it also makes your property worth less value over time because you're not maintaining it the way you should be. So if you say you're gonna do something, hold to that like it's the most important commitment in your life. Number 5, treat your tenants with respect. I've noticed sometimes in the landlord community, there's a tendency to treat tenants as a little bit like sub people, right? Like, oh, they're just a tenant. But at some point, weren't we all tenants? At least most of us were tenants at some point in our life. A tenant is just another person who has chosen not to invest in real estate right now or not to buy their own home. They're just people like you and me. And so don't treat them inferior. Don't act like you're better than them. You just have a business that serves them, and yes, serves them. And they have you are a business that they get served by. Remember that, treat them fairly, and they're going to appreciate it and respond in kind. Number 6, pay your vendors promptly. You know, I have a lot of friends that are contractors, and I met a lot of contractors in my day, and one of the most frustrating things to a contractor is when they have to wait 1 or 2 or 3 months to get paid. I mean, think about it. If you're a paycheck to paycheck kind of contractor trying to put food on your table for your family, and you get a call from a landlord who says, hey, can you come fix this broken pipe? It's the middle of the night. Things are leaking everywhere, which, by the way, hardly ever happens. It's happened twice in my entire life of being a landlord of 15 years and over 100 tenants. Happened twice. But let's say I call a contractor and say, hey buddy, I got this leak. If he remembers last time he worked for me, I took a month or 2 or 3 to pay him. Do you think he's gonna be jumping out of bed to go help me out? No, and it doesn't take that much more work. This really comes down to the first tip I gave you today, which was be organized. So be so organized, you can pay them promptly, like same day, next day. So that next time you call that vendor, whether it's a contractor or somebody else, they're like, oh yeah, I liked that person because they paid me quick, and they equate money with doing the task. The longer space you have between somebody doing a task and then getting paid for it, the less likely they are going to want to do work for you again in the future. All right, number 7. Build systems to be able to automate and outsource things. One of the most important things as a landlord you can do, and any business owner, is to build these systems and processes. The more systems and processes you can work into your business, the easier everything will flow. For example, I'll give you a real tangible example. When a tenant calls us, we have a process that we go through. We don't just instantly go show a unit. That's what a lot of landlords do. They instantly go and show a unit if anybody calls. But then you get there and you find out the tenant doesn't have a job, they're wanted for murder, and they have 19 cats. And so you're like wasting your entire day to go show a unit. So we have a process, we have a checklist. The first thing on the phone, we tell them about the property, we tell them our criteria, we ask them a few questions, the same questions every single time, because it's a process. And we have those processes across our entire business, and it makes us more efficient, it helps us work way less hours, and it makes everybody happier. So find ways to systematize and automate the various parts of your business. Now, if you like those 7 tips, make sure you give that thumbs up button below the video and subscribe to our channel here at BiggerPockets. And hey, if you want more tips on landlording, my wife and I wrote a book called The Book on Managing Rental Properties. You can get it wherever books are sold, including at biggerpockets.com/landlordbook. For biggerpockets.com, my name is Brandon Turner, signing off.